Kerns. You guys had, I believe, a 5 or a 6 point lead with about 4 minutes to go and didn't get another field goal. And I was wondering how much playing second game in 2 days after a 2-week layoff did legs, did fatigue kind of play into that?
We just got to get it done. We've been doing this all season, so we're used to it. You just got to complete the job. There's no excuse.
And how about you?
Yeah, just same thing. We're not going to make excuses for ourselves. We had to come out and play the game just like they had to come out and play the game, and they just took away there at the end. There's no excuses, really.
And for either guy, how much were, or how were your legs after, being inactive for 2 weeks? Were you surprised how well you guys did? Or
it wasn't a struggle at all. We all got a strong mindset team. Everybody on our team knew what we had to do to be done. We came out and played the game. We took the break. We worked out over the break during quarantine through Zoom, and we prepped all week and got ourselves back in shape. So as I said before, as we both said before, it's no excuse.
Was it?
Guys, the going down the stretch obviously was pretty critical today. What would have made the difference? What is it? As you think back to the way things played out, how could it have changed to come out in your favor?
I would just say, we had to execute better down there. They got a good team, well coached. So we just had the execution down the stretch. As you said, we didn't get a field goal in those last couple of minutes, but we all played hard and we didn't let up and we didn't give up. So, yeah.
James, it was a physical game down low. You had 2 good rebounding games. What was your focus? Knowing the way that they play and kind of the scheme that they use to make sure you were impactful this weekend?
Like every game, just try to rebound as much as possible and execute when I have to. But finishing down low and finding my teammates defensively, just doing what I'm supposed to do.
Justin, I know probably not your focal point right now, given the outcome, but what can you say about having your senior day here? You've played a lot of basketball here, had a lot of success here. Do you have any emotions at this point, or is it just one of those things you're probably going to have to clear your head to think about?
I don't really have any emotions. I just had to come out and play the game like any other game. Just thankful that I could go out with these guys and his coaches, and just happy to play here for App State. Just take the game like any other one.
Thanks, guys.
David Rogers. David, I believe you're still muted.
Nothing, Rob.
I believe you're still muted, David. There you go.
Said nothing. Nothing at the moment.
Nothing. Gotcha. Thank you.
I might circle back though.
Okay, Cameron.
I guess I'll just ask both of you. Michael Flowers, of course, one of the leading scorers in the Sun Belt. Today he shot 3 of 16, and it looked like you guys were hedging on about every screen that came, and were really making it a conscious effort. Can you talk to me about the adjustments you made against him?
We just game plan for it like we do in the other game. Our game plan was to make it tough for him. We know he's a good player, but we just played team defense and helped one another out, and we did the best that we could.
Okay, thank you.
Heartbreaker, tough game. I thought we fought hard. I thought it was a good college basketball game, and unfortunately we didn't come out on top. But I thought we did some things better. I thought we defended pretty well. The triangle and 2, certainly bothered us times. At times we handled it well, but disappointed in the result, not disappointed in our team. I thought we fought hard and did some good things.
Brett.
Good struggle. Thank you very much. Hey, Dustin, given the 2-week break, how do you feel your team performed this weekend, especially, physically, getting back in?
You know what? I think pretty well. And I say that because if there's people tracking this across the country, and people that take 2 weeks off have performed way worse than we have to this point. The overall, I think it's almost 5 or 6 points a game. Teams are scoring less than they normally are. the average defeats in the double digits. And so I think for us to come out and we went 14 days without touching a basketball. Now there's no excuses, no excuse mentality, but just, there's a rhythm aspect to it. There's a condition aspect to it, but I thought overall, considering for us to have back-to-back games, one possession, which those things can go either way, I thought overall pretty well.
Game shape. That having been said, you guys had about a 5 or 6 point lead with 4 minutes to go, and I don't think you got another field goal over the last 4 minutes of the game. How much, if any, did legs and fatigue may have,
Yeah, probably some, but I mean, some of it there was an illegal screen, which I don't know if we've been called for a legal screen all season. We missed a couple shots, but maybe that was, Almonte's not typically 1 for 8. And so, yeah, fatigue probably set in a little bit. I thought our bench has got to give us more. And so we rode those starters pretty hard. And so I think maybe if our bench gave us more, we could have set them a little bit more. But yeah, I think eventually, it caught up with us.
Contributed to that. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Brett.
David Ware.
Dustin, that's two games in a row where, you had it come down to James Lewis with the ball in his hands, in close, a lot of physicality. Not asking you to comment on the officiating, but I would ask, what did you guys see on his last shot attempt today? Because there was some contact going on there.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it on film. I felt like there was. A lot of contact. And so, but we'll take a look at it on film. But, James is a big old strong guy. He gets fouled a lot because he's strong and physical. And so, certainly felt like, chance to go to the free throw line and tie it up, but didn't happen.
You come back from the layoff, and obviously shooting is something that could suffer during a 2-week layoff. But, as you go back to the Troy series, those were 2 games where you guys didn't shoot to your normal level either. Do you feel like teams, as they've watched you play more, getting a better feel or maybe a better scout on you? Because you guys have been, putting the ball in the basket, pretty consistently up until these last 4 games. Are you getting the shots you want?
No, and I think it's a couple different things. One, I think there is some scouting going on. 2, down at Troy, when Deshaun, hurt his shoulder, now you got Almonte and Forrest with the ball more, and they've been able to free up a little bit more before that because they weren't on the ball. And so therefore down there they were the ball in their hands a little bit more. And then, I think some of it was probably the 2 weeks off without taking a shot. And then I think some of it was the trying on 2 defense. They were literally face guarding Delphin and Justin and making it difficult. And we tried to get them, the ball some, but, I credit South Alabama's defense. I think that their trying on 2 was pretty good.
You don't have a lot of time to really nurse on this thing. You've got to hit the road again for a Tuesday game, and you've got a tough week in Georgia. Beyond just the kind of the statement of next game, what's important for these guys to do to kind of figure out how to get back in that positive mindset after so much has gone on in the last 3 weeks for you?
Yeah, I told them after the game, I said, listen, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. If we can take 2 weeks off and play South Alabama to 2 possessions in 80 minutes, because I think they're hot. They've won 8 in a row. That's not an accident. And so I think I told them, I said, listen, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Stick with it. Let's get in the gym. Let's see the ball go in a little bit more. We'll get a little bit more of a routine. And so, we spent the first 2 days practicing this week by just doing fundamentals and just trying to get our guys back in some sort of shape. And then I thought it was really be counterproductive. Everybody that I talked to that had been in quarantine said, don't jump right back into scouting. Get back to fundamentals. And so we spent 2 days just trying to working on us and defensive habits and trying to just get a passing and catching. And so then we turned our attention to them. But, I think getting a little bit more of a rhythm, but also helping them realize, hey, listen, we're going to be all right. It's just something about basketball. I mean, every game's like this.
David Rogers.
Yeah, Coach. One of the first things I did last night when I saw the 2-point differential and the score was I looked at the standings, and one of the things that I noticed was you're taking twice in 2 days in a row the top ranked team in the East Division of the Sun Belt, to 2 points down to the last second or so, and then looking at the other members of that division, how tight it is. Could you speak to the parity that seems to be evolving in the Sun Belt Conference?
Yeah, it's everybody's good. Every game's a fight. No one really has home court advantage, and so you can go on the road and win. And so you're seeing that some. Playing teams 3-4 times. I think it gets competitive, and so those games could have gone either way, but they didn't. But yeah, it's a very competitive league, especially when you get into playing the same team 3 or 4 times. It's difficult. Something we've never really done. So.
That's it for me. Thank you.
Cameron.
Thanks, David.
Hey, Coach. I guess before I ask you about the game itself, of course, you had senior day today. You had 3 seniors. If you want to talk to me about those guys, do you have any kind words about them and how they've improved the program?
Yeah, I mean, Justin Forrest has had a, historic career here. Top 10 in a lot of categories. Had a lot of big moments. Hoping for one big more moment today, but and then Jamie Baker's a guy that's been a big part of our locker room, big part of our culture and what we're about, and then Michael Almonacci has been a guy that's really fit in really, really well, and has really gave us a big lift this year in a lot of areas.
Mm-hmm. And then talking about the game specifically, Michael Flowers, of course, I believe he leads the Sun Belt in scoring. It seemed like today they were trying him in horn sets. They were trying to get him on off-ball situations. Y'all were chasing him, hedging on screens. Can you talk to me about the adjustments you made to make sure that you made someone else beat you?
Well, I think he was looking to be a playmaker a little bit more today. Now we forced him left. He's a good player going left and right, but he loves to go right, and so we forced him left a little bit, and I think that helped us. But I think we difficult shots, 3 for 16. I mean, that's probably one of the worst stats lines he's had this year. But Gonsalves stepped up and hit 6 big threes, and LaCour, and so our team did a good job on Flowers. Just wasn't one guy, but forcing him left and all that stuff helped.
Mm-hmm. And then you talked a little bit about that triangle and 2, and then I think they were boxing 1 a little bit yesterday. Did you talk to your team a lot about them possibly switching it up, or were you ready for one or the other?
We were ready for both. They've switched it up a couple times, but not much. But today they were exclusive triangle and 2, and so we were ready for that today. But we thought we could maybe get them back out of going to boxing 1, but they didn't.
Mm-hmm. And then going off of that, how you talked about triangle and 2, do you think did that impact your lineups, like how you would put 3 guards on the court with Mike, Adrian, and Justin?
Yeah. No, it certainly impacted our lineup a little bit there, and playing certain guys for sure.
All right, thank you, and good luck.
Thank you, guys.